My 6-year-old daughter came home with deep purple bruises on her ribs and her backpack torn to shreds. When I asked what happened, my blood ran cold. She told me that 3 fourth graders had been attacking her on the school bus every day for weeks. Children need to toughen up at that age, the principal said when I showed him photos of her injuries. Your daughter needs to learn that the weak ones get weeded out. That's just nature. I explained she was only 6 years old and she was being attacked by 10-year-old boys. He barely glanced at the bruises and said, some children are meant to be victims. It builds character for everyone involved. The strong learn to lead and the weak learn their place. My hands shook with rage as I explained that I work the early morning shift at the hospital 45 minutes away, so the bus was our only option for getting her to school. Can she at least have an assigned seat near the driver? I pleaded. We don't accommodate crybabies. She sits where she's assigned or finds another school. Those are your only options, he said flatly. The attacks only got worse. Her lunch money started disappearing every morning, leaving her hungry until dinner. One afternoon, she came home with her glasses snapped in half. We couldn't get new ones for 2 weeks. She had to squint at the board, her grades dropping because she was struggling to see. I called the school constantly, but they always had an excuse. The principal is in a meeting. He'll return your call. He never called back, not even once. The secretary's voice grew more apologetic each time, but nothing changed. The bullies cut chunks of my daughter's hair with scissors while the driver ignored her screaming for help. She started having nightmares that made her scream in her sleep. She would crawl into our bed in the middle of the night, shaking and crying. She wet herself in fear one day because the bullies blocked her from getting off at our stop, forcing her to ride the bus all the way to the end of the route. When I finally cornered the principal after waiting outside his office for 2 hours, he said, "You're making her weak by not letting her handle this herself. In the real world, nobody will protect her." Other parents at the bus stops started recording videos of what they witnessed, horrified. "This is criminal," one mother whispered. One morning, she vomited from anxiety and begged me not to make her go to school, but I had no sick days left, and my boss had already warned me about absences. I had to put her on that bus. That afternoon, a parent called me at work. "I saw your daughter hiding under the bus seats. The 4th graders are kicking her and the driver is just sitting there." I ran out of the hospital, leaving mid-shift, losing half a day's pay and risking my job. When I arrived at the school, the principal's secretary said he was unavailable, but I could hear him laughing with someone in his office. Another parent called me, her voice breaking. "My son tried to end his life last year. Same bus, same kids, same principal." She sent me his therapy records that showed his PTSD diagnosis, anxiety medication, and weekly sessions for severe trauma from daily physical assault. The principal had told her, "Boys need to toughen up. Your son needs to learn to fight back." I scraped together money for a lawyer using our emergency fund meant for car repairs. My lawyer said we needed to get the security footage from the bus, but the school claimed the cameras had conveniently been malfunctioning for weeks. My lawyer's investigation uncovered a pattern. 5 families had pulled their kids from the school, 3 had documented injuries requiring medical attention, and 1 child had a concussion from being slammed into a window so hard it cracked. The driver had watched it all, sometimes laughing, once high-fiving the bullies. The IT department, when pressed, quietly admitted the footage existed, but had been deleted on the principal's orders because it was taking up too much server space. They recovered fragments showing horror after horror. At the next school board meeting, I stood with my lawyer and 20 other parents. "You're going to watch what your principal calls kids being kids," I announced. I played a video of my daughter being punched and kicked, her head slammed against the seats while the driver glanced in the mirror and kept driving. The other parents gasped and the board members went pale. Then came the audio my lawyer had obtained through Discovery. The principal in a recorded staff meeting saying, "Some kids deserve bullying. It's natural selection. The weak ones need to learn or leave. We're not running a daycare here." The room erupted. Parents shot to their feet shouting. The board president tried to end the meeting, but parents blocked the exits. "You'll sit here and watch all of it," the father of another victim said, his voice dangerous. "Every video, every photo, every medical record. You'll see what you've allowed." 3 hours later, after seeing everything and hearing testimonies from a dozen families, the board voted unanimously. The principal was suspended immediately, and the driver was arrested for child endangerment.